Today, I hope to challenge your preconceived notions and discuss the 10 common myths about counseling, and hopefully encourage you to start talking to somebody. Myth number 1. Only crazy people go to counseling.
In my previous video, I talked about the reasons why somebody would seek out counseling. You can watch that video by clicking the link over here. But really, counseling can help with tons of different things, from depression to anxiety to the loss of someone in your life to improving relationships. Research shows that taking care of your mental health is just as important as taking care of your physical health. When you're sick, you go to the doctor. When you have a toothache, you go to the dentist. So why is it that when you have relationship problems or you just feel stuck in life, you don't seek out help from a trained, licensed professional?
Myth number 2. Talking to your friends and family is just as good as going to counseling. Having a social support system full of trusted friends and family is something I would recommend. Counseling offers so much more because therapists have years of education experience in treating complex problems. The way counselors handle problems is based on research, not intuition. Therapy has been shown to produce positive effects in 92% of clients. The longer that you're in therapy, the better your results. The more active you are in therapy, the better your results. Myth number 3. You can get better on your own if you just try hard enough. Or you could believe you just need a positive attitude, or your problems are common sense. You can solve them on your own.
You spent a lifetime dealing with these problems, and your parents might have dealt with them the same way, and their parents might have dealt with them the same way, going back on your entire family tree. Sometimes it's not about trying harder, it's about doing something differently. You can change these patterns with the help of a therapist. They can help you see how you're stuck, and you can learn to become unstuck.
Myth number 4. Therapists use warm and fuzzies, and they are just cheerleader types that don't really fix problems.
A cheerleader therapist does make for a good TV character, but it's not exactly how therapy works inside a session. A good therapist will help you put the puzzle pieces of your life together and look at your patterns differently. That isn't always warm and fuzzy. Sometimes it means digging deeper and dealing with unpleasant patterns or emotions that you've experienced in your life.
Myth number 5. The therapist will blame you for your problems or shame you once you've said something.
I use compassion as much as possible to let my clients come to their own understanding of their behaviors. They're the ones who start to see the patterns in their life and connect the dots. Sometimes it is my job to be confrontational, but other times I can see if it's pushing too much is not helpful. A good therapist will challenge you, but will also hold back and give you the time and space that you need. I always give my clients permission to take as much time as they need to deal with their problems in their own time.
Myth number 6. All therapists are the same. You could say things like, I didn't like my last one, so I won't like the next one. Or, the last one didn't help at all, so why try a different one? They're all the same.
I think we can blame entertainment for this one. Between TVs and movies, it's very easy to see the same type of character as a therapist. Therapists are people just like you and me. We, have our own issues and our own problems, but we have this training to see patterns and do things differently. It's important that you feel like you can connect to your therapist and recognize that their quirks and personality plays a big role in the outcomes of therapy.
Myth number 7. Therapy is just too expensive.
A therapist's price range will depend on their expertise and then also what part of the country you're in. It could range as low as $50 a session all the way up to over $175 a session. You can also contact therapists to see if they take your insurance, and local colleges or universities offer free or discounted therapy. I like to view therapy as an investment in you. If you view therapy through the lens that it is just a problem that needs to get solved, it can be considered expensive. But if you view therapy as an opportunity for you to learn more about yourself and develop this master's degree in you, it will be worth every penny.
Myth number 8. Therapists just listen to you vent, so why pay someone to listen to you complain about your life? All these myths come from our perception of what therapy is, and that's mostly seen through the lens of movies and TV. Like in this classic clip from Good Will Hunting, Matt Damon is just laying on the couch talking to a therapist, answering his few questions. It's not a real clear view of what therapy looks like. However, many therapists will offer insight and homework during their first few therapy sessions. When working together, your therapist will help you develop new goals and behaviors. Your therapist will offer active suggestions. Homework and things that I generally try to do during the first few sessions are things like journaling, reading, and developing an exercise routine. Myth number 9, therapy will make your pain or problems worse than they are now.
Part of therapy is going back in the past and dealing with some negative emotions, but a good therapist will help you go through those emotions so they're not overwhelming and you can handle them. I always tell my clients that if you understand your story, you'll be able to tell a new, different story about the future chapters in your life.
Myth number 10, therapists are like magicians and will help me solve my problems with a wave of their wand. You could believe things like, I went to a therapist 3 times and nothing changed. Or, the therapist told us all of this stuff and it didn't save our marriage.
I wish I could be like a magician and just simply pull a rabbit out of the hat and fix your problems for any clients that I interact with. However, life is much more complicated than that. I like thinking of magic because what a magician is really doing when they pull in a rabbit outside of the hat is you think it takes 3 taps with the magic wand, but in reality, they've put a lot of work and preparation into being able to pull that rabbit out of the hat. The same thing's true with any problems you might be dealing with in life. It takes a lot of work and a lot of effort to start to see your patterns and do things differently. So, from the outside, somebody could go, wow, you've made all these positive changes, but you know, just like the magician knows, it took a lot of work and effort. And a good therapist will help you learn how to make these different changes in your life.
The reverse is also true. If you hear a couple talking about how their therapist helped them solve all of their problems, the therapist might be good, but it's important to take credit for your own work and effort you put into your changes. If you're giving the credit to the therapist, if something stops working, you might blame the therapist for all your problems also. So real change happens with you and stays with you, and the therapist is just a guide to help you seek out new solutions